The time is just after 9 o'clock this morning. It's Wednesday, the 20th of July. Joining me all the way from America, we have Mary. Good morning, Mary. Are you there?
Yes, I am, Carl.
Good morning. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Okay, so Mary is joining us all the way from the States. I'm just going to read you out a little bit of a bio from what she sent me. Mary has dubbed herself the Mind Yoga Master. She's the author of 2 books, The Joy Formula and Mind Yoga. She teaches people all over the world how to simply and easily dissolve stress so they can be more productive, more creative, and more successful in life and business. Mind yoga can be learned by anyone of any age. It involves no techniques, no practicing, and nothing physical, and no stretchy pants are required either. So, Mary, tell us all about that.
Right. So, a couple of years ago, I was on a real quest. I was super stressed, to put it mildly. I had been dealing myself with post-traumatic stress disorder for many, many years and had never been able to figure out a way to get rid of it. I had tried, all of the techniques out there. I'd gone to lots of different therapists and just was kind of at the end of my rope. And I'm really not exaggerating. I was feeling pretty distressed and feeling like, I really wasn't living my life to the fullest because I was pretty much plagued by chronic stress. And in 2014, I came across something that was very, very different. And so the last 2 years I've spent just exploring this new way of seeing stress and really a new way of seeing the way that we're living on a day-to-day basis and talking about it with other people. And so that's where the book Mind Yoga came from, was my exploration of really what stress is and what the cause is. And understanding that has allowed me to really almost eliminate chronic stress from my daily life, which is amazing because I never thought that would actually happen.
It sounds pretty amazing not to have any stress whatsoever in your life. So, how do you see stress? How do you know that you've got it, and how do you work on trying to eliminate it from your life?
Right. So I think the misunderstanding about stress is that it's coming at us from things that are in our life or in our environment. So that's what I always thought. For me, part of what looked like the cause of stress was some trauma that I had been through in my early life, in addition to all of the other things in life that look like big stressors, relationships and things at work and things in the world. All of these things looked like they were causing stress. They almost feel like they can somehow transmit it to us. But what I saw was that, in fact, that really wasn't what was going on at all. And what was going on was I was having some thoughts that were bringing with them this feeling of stress that we're all familiar with. For me, it's sort of a gripping in the chest and, kind of my stomach turning upside down. That was actually coming from some momentary thinking that I was having. And so, in fact, nothing on the outside of me was causing this stress. It was really coming from inside of me. And so I started to understand that all the things I was doing to kind of manage stress were really trying to manage the things outside. I was trying to, I literally moved cities to try to get away from stress. I changed jobs to try to get away from stress and things like that. And I realized that those things had nothing to do with the stress I was actually feeling. It was really just coming from within me. And that was really a life-changing moment for me, to put it mildly.
So whereabouts did you live before? Because it seems like I've seen on your bio that you actually live in the Bronx. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. I live in New York City.
Is that not a pretty stressful place to live?
Actually, no. I live in a really sort of calm area of the Bronx, and it's very non-city like here. It's kind of suburban, actually. It's people can't, picture the Bronx as being kind of this scary place, I guess, and the area that I live is nothing like that. But I actually moved away from Los Angeles, the first move I made to sort of escape stress, to a very rural area of California, which is where I'm from originally. And surprise, surprise, the stress followed me there because it really wasn't rooted in where I was living. It was rooted in me. So when I moved to New York, this was before I kind of came across this new way of seeing stress. I did have some concerns about that. But what I noticed is that I can be in any environment, and depending on what state of mind I'm in, something seems stressful or it doesn't. So it really doesn't have anything to do with even the environment we live in.
Okay, so I'm gonna put you in a little bit of a situation which a lot of people probably listening to the show this morning are in a similar sort of environment. So
Okay.
so I personally have quite a successful business, and I have lots of staff. And as we speak this morning, I'm getting the usual plethora of text messages coming in because yesterday was an extremely hot day, and it's probably the hottest day in the UK this year. And a few people have gone off on the sick because of the hot weather yesterday, and now I'm stuck with 101 jobs that customers want doing today. We're short staffed. Everything seems to be going wrong. I just want to put my head in my hands and cry sometimes. But what type of techniques would you say that is, or is that not the kind of the stress that would be able to help?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's absolutely something that this would be able to help. So what's interesting about what I teach people is that there's nothing really to do in those situations except to understand that the stress you're feeling is not coming from the fact that your employees aren't at work or there's a lot of work to be done. The stress is coming from some momentary, and that's a key word here, momentary thinking that you're having. And you can simply understand that that's the source of the stress and realize, I could have a different thought in the next moment. So why don't I just let this kind of go by and not really give it much weight? I think what trips people up is that they try to control their environment. Like in your situation, I could see, trying to work faster or, trying to take some kind of urgent steps to deal with things. When in fact, if we can understand that the stress you're feeling is coming from your current state of mind, then your ability to handle things like this improves drastically because you're not coming at it from that sort of frantic